material control and stores, they have distinct but related functions. They are intertwined. While the function of the stores deals mainly with the physical management of materials in the stores. That is, it deals with receiving, storing, issuing, and keeping record of inventory in the stores. This is the primary function of the stores. Material control, on the other hand, deals with a much of a broader management, uh, perspective, in that it entails the planning, organizing and controlling the flow of materials from procurement down to consumption. So what we mean here is that it could even be prior to procurement, because prior to procurement you need to have the need. There should be the need for that material, which also is part of what the stores, during stock taking, you now see your level is depleting. Part of the planning you do is that you see that this stock is depleting, so there will be the need to replenish it. Then, in the consumption, after consumption, most of our power equipment we deal with in TCN, they have lifespan or they may expire due to maybe a lot of things. So if they expire, we now go to the obsolescence. That's when they become even scrap. So the function of material control even goes beyond, the actual usage of the material up to its, final resting place. When it becomes a scrap, you scrap it. But always, for us to understand the real function of material control and stores in TCN, we need to also know our network. What are you dealing with? What kind of store are you thinking of? Because each organization has its own peculiar kind of materials that they stock, they keep in their stores. So I just want to give you a little overview of what we have in our stores, what TCN network entails. In TCN, we have 10 regions across the whole country. We have 31 sub-regions. We have 11 work centers. These are where our administrative centers are all over the country. We have staffs there, we have maintenance staff, engineers, we have storemen, we have store in each of these locations. And we have 57 330 kV substations, 57 330 kV substations, 186 132 kV substations. We have 98 330 kV power transformers of various ratings from 300 to 150 MVA to 90 MVA, 98 of them. We have 395 132/33 kV power transformers, 150 lines, 150 lines, or we call them circuit of 330 kV lines capacity. Then we have 252 132 kV transmission lines or circuits. And when we translate this into kilometers, we are having more than 11,000 kilometers of 330 kV line. We have more than 9,000 kilometers of 132 kV lines. This is enormous. When you think of these kilometers across the whole terrain of Nigeria, from the shores of the Atlantic to our borders with the Sahara Desert, we have stations and kilometers of these lines. Then we have, let's say, circuit breakers in the substations that protect these transformers. We have almost up to 600 number of 330 kV circuit breakers. We have almost 961 132 kV circuit breakers, and we have more than 1,200 30 kV circuit breakers. These are rough estimates. The number keep on increasing. So when you have this network, this massive network, and this magnitude of equipments, you know that definitely to maintain it, you need to keep a very robust, stock level of spares and equipment for the maintenance of this. And you have to also strategize and make sure that, because the absence of one circuit breaker can make a whole region, a whole vast area to lose supply. In some years back, maybe last year, we lost a transmission line. Just one tower of transmission line can, render the whole, like, northeastern part of this country. Like, I think last year we had an issue that the whole northeastern, northeast of the country, about 4 or 5 states are out of supply. So really, you see that for you to maintain this network and this number of equipments, you need to have, at least a certain number of equipment in your store. And you also need to, part of the functions of the material control is to make sure you plan adequately. You coordinate with other relevant departments. The user department, we call them here, that to make sure that you are looking at your level of stock, and then you are looking at your procurement time. You know how to also liaise with the procurement department. How long does it take you, for example, to have to procure, let's say, a 150 MVA power transformer? At least is 18 months. 18 months is from the time you put order. So it's from the time you sign that contract and pay advance payment. That is the effective date of contracts. So from that effective date to the time, let's say, it comes to Lagos port, 18 months. So you see the planning, you need to plan very well to make sure that the equipment comes at the right time so that they can be used. So likewise, most of our equipment, more than 90% of the equipment we use in our network are imported. And all of them have their own, some are 6 months from the effective date after you sign the contract. So you have to be planning all these things. So part of the major role of material control and stores is that, insofar as, you know, there is supply in the grid, insofar as TCN is willing power to all the nook and crannies of this country, material control is working, because we are the one that are making sure that the spares, the materials that are required to keep the grid going are available, are at site, and they are at the right, with the right, what do you call it, technical specification and quality. And even we are also maintaining the safety of those equipment in the store, in order to reduce downtime. Because prior to this management, we have only one stores, the central stores in Ojo. So all equipment goes there. So, but the management, to strategize and to reduce this downtime, they now got approval in late 2021, around September. We got approval from the Minister of Power then to now create zonal stores. So approval was given to create zonal stores, one in Onitsha, one in Kaduna, and one in Damaturu. So Damaturu was specifically, chosen that time because of the insurgency, and sometimes to even get a truck from Lagos to deliver items to that side of the country, you will find that most of the transporters will say, "I'm not going there," because of security issues. So it was decided that time that if you can get a store there, since we have a station and it's secured, and there is the promise with the security agencies that there is going to be security there, and it was created. Then last year, then the management also now um, approve and build these regional um, stores. All of them are completed. So, and they become operational last year. September last year, approval was also given to start operating them. So now, and also approval was given that now in our contract agreements, supply of materials, let's say we are now procuring, let's say 33 kV circuit breakers, let's say 100 of them. We now said, okay, depending on the needs, can say now, okay, 40 number of those circuit breakers should go to Ojo stores, 30 should go to Onitsha, and 30 should go to Kaduna. The approval for operations last year is only for Onitsha and Kaduna. So now we can now take equipments directly to, and they are operating, those two regional stores now are operating, zonal stores we call them, they are operating as part of the main store, central stores. So all documentations, all SRA issuing of SRA, and they are all done is simultaneous. We can do them. If you take your items to any of this store, we will now process it as if you have taken it to the central store. So this is one of the aspects of getting the materials closer to the work centers. Then secondly, what the management does, is that now it's procure trucks. It has procured 40 feet, 50 tons trailer truck with the head, brand new, 20 feet, 40 tons um, truck, that's the smaller one, 100-ton crane, that's the big crane, 100 tons, and also the low bed, 100 tons low bed. So now we have the ability now to transport our own equipments ourselves. They are all in the store right now. If you go to Ojo stores, you will see these vehicles. They are all there. This is also in a way to make sure that materials space goes to our regional offices, regional stores, and the zonal stores as quickly as possible. So these two what will I say, interventions by the management in the activities of the stores, goes a long way in reducing downtime. Have measures to make measures that make sure that whatever goes into the store, for example, um, part of the measures, for example, is like the stock taking exercises, and then that the user departments are in charge of releasing the materials that are in the store. So at any point in time, you find that the user departments in the HQ that releases these materials under the ED approves everything in the store, is under the executive director, transmission service provider. He gives approval. Only him gives approval for items to be taken out of the store. So the user departments are the owners of these uh, materials that are in the stores. So at any time you find that their stock level and our own stock level have to be in tandem. And at the end of the year, we do the stock taking to make sure that what is actually in the records is exactly what is on ground in the store. And we have never had any issue. Also, our auditors, they have their own, like auditing of the stores, both the central stores and the regional stores and sub-regional stores. And you find that always we never had any issue of losing materials or from the stores. Most of the equipments we used in the transmission network are imported. But still, because of encouragement from government and also from encouragement from TCN management, we have a lot of equipment now, materials that are locally manufactured, and any material that is manufactured in this country, and if it passed our technical specification, definitely there will be our first point of call. That is from where we procure. Like you see, like conductors now, cables, because the quality of cables manufactured in Nigeria are up to international standard. You find that mostly our power and control cables are procured locally. Most of the clamps we used, because we have a lot of foundries in this country that do these clamps, aluminum clamps, and so we procure them from here. Recently, there is uh, we procure 350 mm aluminum conductor from a manufacturer in Lagos, because before we have to got it from uh, import it, but now we have somebody that we went and we tested and it is of international standard, so it makes our life easy. we encourage them, the government encourage them, and so whoever is willing to come and start producing these power equipments or power materials that are used in the power sector in this country, I am assuring him that he will have the support of Ministry of Power and TCN. We will patronize them because it makes life easy for us. We don't need to use foreign exchange. We don't need to, we buy with Naira, which makes life easy. And the delivery time, instead of saying maybe 6 months, shipping time is almost how many? Maybe shipping time could be up to 3 months, depending on the international. If there is any problem internationally, it also affects your delivery time. Yes, in life you cannot be without challenges. Definitely, we are overcoming them, and the management is also assisting in every way possible. But part of not, um, like now the challenge of we have challenge of resources. This resources challenge goes a long way because sometimes you find that the stock level we would want to have for some materials, you find that still we experience time when the stock level will be nil. We won't have the equipment, and then in the store, and then you have to be going up and down before you can get it. I believe if there is sufficient funds, the procurement processes will be much faster. And also, I don't know, sometimes if you ask why are these equipment, if either a contract has been awarded or is about to be awarded, but the process of awarding contracts also, is a challenge to us because you find that they say, okay, we already sent that we need this material in the store, it's depleted, it's about to finish, but they say, okay, the procurement process have started. But you find that it takes a long time to get BPP approval and, to get MTB approval or to get PEC approval and then to open LC, all those things take time. So you find that sometimes a whole year will go before a contract is signed. So if all these things are challenges, and then also manpower, sometimes you need the right manpower training. It can never be enough. Even though it's a continuous process, so we always tell management that please, our staff need training. We need to be trained and retrained. We need to upgrade technologically. We need to be using the latest, softwares in inventory management. All these things are things that we need to imbibe.